with Alberto Palacio.
Welcome to the World News 7. Today, we're going to have a special segment called What is Happening in Colombia. Many people should be thinking that it's about the violence, social problems, or political problems, but I am sure anyone thought about the ecological problems. Because during the last 10 years in Colombia, there have been many terrible environmental disasters, most of them caused by human mistakes, like all the destruction of the wetlands and the moors, the increasing of oil exploration and exploitation, or the high water demand for the rice and palm plantations. There are factors that affect the biomes in many ecological ways. Behind all the human mistakes, the nature plays a very important role in these disasters.
In ecology, there is a concept called the disturbance hypothesis that proposes a temporary change in average environmental conditions that cause a pronunciated change in an ecosystem. As well, disturbances often act quickly and with great effects, sometimes resulting in the removal of large amounts of biomass. So, these natural events could have a benefit in the future because the world is always trying to give a natural balance between the individuals and the ecosystem. During this segment, we are going to talk about a serious ecological disaster that affected the department of Choco during the month of March of this year 2014 in many ecological ways, like the disaster of the death of many animals that live around this zone and the destruction of many plants that are located around this section. When a small wildfire started in the lower area of the municipality of Onguia, Cañolón Swamp section. It's important to mention that a swamp is a wilderness that is a biome surrounded by forest, like attributes such as trees, grass and soil, and really close to the Trato River, where the fire got spread after some time over 3,800 hectares of tropical forest. In a elaborated report for the Institute of Environmental Investigations of the Pacific Ocean, there were described the damages that Unguia's ecosystem suffered after the wildfire. The coordinator of this institute, Giovanni Ramirez, affirmed that in this affected area, 207 species of vertebrates coexist, 104 species of birds, 41 species of mammals, 37 species of reptiles, and 25 of amphibians. %3 of these species of vertebrates present characteristics that make them more fragile. First, they are endemic. They present some degree of threat, are dual or migratory. For understand this disaster and its ecological fatalities, it's important to know the characteristics and the importance of this biome for the world. So, this biome is defined as a dense grove of trees, plants, and underbrush that contains different species interacting between each other. As well, it's really important to mention that the tropical forests nowadays cover less than the 6% of Earth's land surface. In the same way, scientists estimate that more than half of the entire world plants and animals species live in tropical forests, and also that the tropical forests produce 40% of Earth's oxygen. Coming back, during this ecological calamity, there had died in exaggerated quantity many animals, where we can find monkeys, capybaras, snakes, turtles, frogs, iguanas, and armadillos. As well, this forest located in Chocó have an interesting fact because it's beside the Atrato River. So, indeed, this catastrophe killed many aquatic species, such as crustaceans, fishes, and reptiles of this biome. Many people should be wondering which were the causes of this disaster. Although it might sound very rare, but the cause was that during a controlled burning made by some turtle hunters in order to take them out of the habitat and sell them in Santa Marta, the fire get out of control. In the other hand, during an interview that we had with the mayor of Chocó, Victor Manuel Gomez, he told us that for 3 months ago, the municipality of Fungia had suffered a drought, and that during that time there was not rain on that zone, and that they are in summer season, so definitely this is a factor that helped to spread the flames faster all over the zone. As well, a huge ecological problem here is the soil, since this one for effect of the burning loses fertility and one with a number of microorganisms that contribute to the maintenance of the balance of the above mentioned ecosystem. Taking into account what I said before, inside these biomes the trophic levels had been damaged, being this a serious and a huge problem for the natural balance of this ecosystem in many ways and in a real short time, because when the food web was disturbed, in this case by the wildfire, all the transportation of the energy was affected, meaning the death of many individuals that live in this biome. So it means that all the trophic levels get damaged, starting with the soil. So this is a big problem because all the primary producers, like the grass and plants, get the energy from it and from the sun. But when the soil gets fired, then all the plants will get burned and it will be a huge problem for all the primary consumers. There are the omnivores that wouldn't have possibilities to get any energy, meaning that it will happen at the same thing to the carnivores and to the herbivores that are located on the secondary consumer level of the trophic levels, and finally the top carnivores or the top predators that are located in the tertiary consumer level will die because they aren't going to get any energy from the others. So it can be looked at as a ripple effect, because when the soil is affected, then all the other consumers will get affected and then they will die. The authorities of Hungary tried to stop the fire in order to prevent the death of more animals, but lamentably, this municipality does not possess the tools adapted to assume this ecological disaster, because they doesn't have the technology, which in this case is indispensable for the rapid attention and control of fires in order to prevent something more serious in ecological terms. However, This could be seen when the worried people of this zone tried to extinguish the fire by themselves with water buckets, but the efforts of these brave citizens were less. So they had to resort to the help of the air forces and three firemen's foreheads, since the flames continued expanding near to the nature reserve Catios, with high possibilities of affecting the biodiversity of this zone and the natural development. Many people should be thinking what happened with the animals that survived of the wildfire in Choco. After an extensive investigation, we found that these animals were moving to distances or places far away of the zone of the fire, where they had to face three different ecological factors. The competition, because they will fight for their food and also for their space, because two animals from the same species cannot live in the same niche, meaning that they had to demonstrate a predominance on the others if they want to survive. Then we have the predation, and finally the parasitism, when the individual develop an adaptation with the new space. These wildfires are not on their hardest moments. During 2010, Colombian authorities reported a Wednesday where there were 35 wildfires ravaging the countryside around Colombia, most of them located in the departments of Antioquia, Arauca, Boyacá, Casanare, Cundinamarca, Meta, Chocó, and Tolima, resulting with the death of many animals.
In conclusion, this problem, as you can see, is affecting a big part of the biodiversity of this ecosystem, either the flora and the fauna, where we can find certain terrestrial and aquatic biomes, like the wetlands, rivers, and tropical forests. Finally, if we as citizens of Colombia don't reflect about our mistakes, then this ecological problem could grow until being something severe, having a big impact in us. For example, hundreds of fishes feed their families with their work, but the real question is, what will happen if the fishes die because of us?